Hey, this is me building a $3 million a year business in public. The way these videos work are we start with some Q&A, then we do some growth stats, and then finally we round it out with some lab strategies so you guys can see what my work actually looks like. Here is my main channel at 101,538 subs. This is my daily updates channel. What I do is I just scroll down to the bottom and answer your questions. So first one from the lovely Sinasha Foreign says, love the answer, Nick. Yeah, for some reason, every time I edit a comment, it'll disappear. It's weird. Now, if you don't mind, what is the sales call structure that you have? I tend to do icebreaker for a few minutes, qualifying questions for 15 minutes, and then show them cool shit the rest of the call. I feel like it's too rushed though. What do you think? This, I think, is pretty solid. I do icebreaker for a minute or two. I do qualifying questions. I don't just do 15 minutes though. I typically do most of the call, and then I do show them cool shit. I think that that's probably the best way to put it. I do, more specifically, this is my icebreaker section, the building rapport, where I warm them up. I make them smile at least once. I say hi, jokes, introductions. I usually always make this joke about me being in Canada, you know, like the icebreaker typically is like, oh, where are you? Oh, I'm in wherever. Oh, where are you? I'm in Calgary, Alberta. You ever hear of it? No, I never have. The Great White North. I rode my polar bear to work today. Some stupid, silly stuff like that. Just because there are always nerves anytime somebody's ready to be sold, you know? Then I will set the schedule. This is sort of like the qualifying question part. Why me now this? Why did you decide a book? What are your goals? Have you tried anything to get to the goal before? Why now? Yada, yada. This is like your, show them cool shit stuff. But to be honest, like if I could break this down time-wise, 80% of the call is like all of this. And this is like 20% of the call, realistically. So maybe your issue is you're just not like pressing enough on the pain points. You're not really asking too many questions. You doing 30-minute calls? My calls, I schedule for 30 minutes, but a lot of the time I just end up going over, to be real. Sometimes we have hard stops and stuff, but yeah. Maxime Prenko says, I'm really interested in getting into AI automation. I love the industry and I used to code a bit when I was younger. The problem is I currently only have a tablet with a keyboard and it's been pretty limiting. Tools like Edit and Make are basically unusable. I was thinking of focusing on copywriting for a while since I've already landed a few clients in the past and then using that income to buy a proper laptop and starting to focus on AI. Do you think that that's a smart move or am I just wasting time? I'm 17, turning 18 soon, by the way. Well, I think you having a tablet is certainly kind of a limiter, but you're not stuck here. If you think about it, these are web applications, so you could use web applications with any browser. If you live in most places in America, in the Americas or Europe, you should be able to just go into a library and have like a PC available to you that you could probably build stuff with. Just to be blunt, there is really nothing stopping you aside from the convenience or lack thereof of the tablet. The fact that you have a tablet doesn't necessarily mean that you can't, do the things that I talk about, just a little bit harder. You can only do half of them on the tablet and then the other half you gotta, find a computer with. So yeah, I'd just say that it sounds like it's inconvenient, but I gotta be honest, man, just a few years ago, you used to literally have to go to the library in order to like do anything. You used to have to go to the library to like get an encyclopedia, read through the encyclopedia to study up about the paper you were going to write, then use that encyclopedia, like borrow it from the library for freaking 3 days and use that encyclopedia to write your paper or do your assignment or do your exam or whatever. So you actually having to do that. It's not like a massive barrier. And I don't mean just to say like, back in my day, things were way harder. But, I think this is one of those things that you maybe just haven't even considered that you could do something like this. So there are a lot of free or low-cost amenities that can allow you to still play around with these tools without necessarily having like a tablet or a PC or a MacBook or whatnot. D Munich 45 says, what happens when or how long until AI automation integrators and engineers are necessary before, because AI agents can build the automations specific to business use cases in a fraction of the time with a fraction of the cost? I think this is a great question. What happens when accountants aren't necessary because AI can do all of that? What happens when, flight coordinators aren't necessary because AI can do all of that? What happens when literally every role on planet Earth is outdated because artificial intelligence and automations can do it way better than humans? Who the hell knows? Not gonna lie. The good news is I feel like running your own business is probably as insulating a barrier as humanly possible for income, as opposed to you being seen as simply a number on a screen of some HR department or whatever. When these tools inevitably do reach the top, you have total agency over, where to go, how to move, how to strategize, and how to make yourself indispensable. So yeah, to make a long story short, I don't know, but I think literally all positions are currently faced with that exact same question. It's not just ours. So the world's probably going to look very different 5 to 10 years from now than it does today. I think that we still have a fair amount of runway with this specific business model, at least 3 years left to just absolutely squeeze the juice out of this bad boy. And moreover, I think that considering that our services are the ones that are going to be required in order to instantiate the future that you're talking about, we're pretty set. Like, there probably is no better industry to be in than ours, just to be clear. So yeah, if you're going to continue being a contributor to the economy, you might as well do it in our industry. It's probably the best when you can. Kyle says, I have a few work for free projects lined up. Should I try to sign them to a retainer at the end? Should that include just maintenance or more builds as well? What price would be thinking, and what would that include? Alternatively, should I just use the goodwill to ask for referrals as well as charging them for any new builds? Thanks for the content, Nick. Kyle, I think this is a false dichotomy. There's no reason why you have to do one or the other. You should do all of them. You should try and sign them for a retainer at the end. Then you should also use the goodwill to ask for referrals. And then you should charge them for any new builds. You should do all of this. In addition, you should ask for reviews. You should get them to leave you a review on Upwork. Get a $5 job. Have them review you on LinkedIn. If you have a Trustpilot, get them to review you. Get them to introduce you to everybody. Get them to invite you to live events. Back when I was going door to door, what was really interesting was I was doing it with my old business partner, Grinder. And for a while, we basically saw it as like a 0 or 1 sort of game. It was like, either we get a closed deal or we get nothing. And I don't know if it was me or if it was Grinder, but somebody had the idea of like, well, if they say no, why don't we just see if we can get a review out of them? And then if they say no to that, then we'll leave empty-handed. But a lot of the guys that would otherwise be okay giving us a review, for free, don't want to pay us money. And we might as well like put that in front of them. It takes 2 seconds. So this is a very revolutionary idea at the time. But yeah, we just switched to, we pitched the hell out of them. And if they said, no, get the hell out of my office, we'd be like, hey, listen, I get it, man. We're just 2 young dudes trying to make it work. Any chance you could leave us a Google review or something, it'd do me a massive favor, and no hard feelings whatsoever if you're not into it. You know what? Like, the vast majority of the people that we asked that question said, of course. What's your thing? Let me leave you a Google for you right now. Why? For reciprocity reasons. We just came in, made asses of ourselves, and got nothing in return. So people feel obligated to give us something. You, my friend, are doing a bunch of free work for people. So they're going to feel similarly obligated to give you something. All right. Might as well try. What's going on, Trevs? That to you too, my friend. Good having you, man. Little Galaxy 1671 says, you're very well spoken and use a large variety of vocabulary. What would you recommend for someone who wants to become a better speaker? Believe it or not, I recommend reading to become a better speaker more than I recommend speaking. But note that having a wide and varied vocabulary does not make you a better speaker. If anything, it makes you a little bit of a worse speaker because there's fewer people out there that'll understand you. I think the trick is using a sufficiently varied vocabulary that you can express yourself better than the average person without making it so varied that nobody understands you because the words are, I don't know, born in Middle English or something. So yeah, I'd actually read a little bit more. I think that storytelling is one of the most important things anybody can learn. And I don't have a framework for it. And maybe that is a pitfall. And maybe I should have a framework for it. I don't. But I've just told a lot of stories. And in order to get good at telling stories, I've also gotten really good at like reading stories. I've also just consumed a lot of stories. So, if you're not the sort of person that has ever read fiction, let's say, or has ever maybe watched some sort of fictional television show or series or movie, maybe give that a try. I know this is really non-standard advice, but there is something about storytelling that I think is important, and I consume a ton of it. Thank you very much for that question. I'm Streepy. So since you won at Skool games, wouldn't you have met Alex a few times? How was the experience? How's he in real life? I hope you don't mind me leaving questions on every day. I really don't, because this is added engagement for my channel. And honestly, your questions are great, Streepy. Keep it up. I've not met Alex a few times. I have not won the Skool games, believe it or not. What's really interesting is, despite having probably the most consistent income out of everybody on that platform, I have narrowly avoided and missed the threshold for being invited to the Skool games every single time that they've ever had them. Chalk this up to luck, right? I've just always been under the threshold. But let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that is by far probably the last time that is ever going to happen. You know why? Because that is me. This is number 1. And notice how between us two and the next nearest competitor, there is a $70,000 gap. Notice between the next nearest competitors and the next competitor, there is a $40,000 gap. Actually, School of Mentors is the fastest growing one other than me. But I've been at $30,000 to $40,000 in the last 7 days earned in growth for like basically since I started this year. I don't know if that part's true, but yeah. If you look at the quarterly earnings, I'm at 100,000 in MRR, and the next nearest competitor is one quarter of my size. So rest assured, I will definitely be winning the Skool games this year, unless some absolute crazy bullshit, or this quarter, unless some absolute crazy bullshit happens. And maybe I'll meet Mr. Hormozy and the rest of the team. Who knows? To be honest, I'm not really looking forward to like doing this sort of stuff or traveling, because this just takes away from me and my consistency, right? I will say that the San Francisco experience has been extraordinarily rewarding, and I've met a lot of great people, and I've just found that I've clicked with tons of people as well. Like I don't really click that strongly with people usually, and it's been amazing to do so. But yeah, you have any idea how far back it set my community management? Like 4 days I had to catch up in the last 24 hours. 4 days worth of posts. I had to respond to like 400 posts. It was crazy. I much prefer to like get the ball that's rolling down the hill and just show up every day and push it a little bit faster. So events typically, take away from my ability to do that. Simeon says, bro, when do you do this? Let me see. He's probably talking about the video. Simeon was in the Airbnb with me. Let me take a peek.
I showed it, Bill.
One second. Oh, that's really funny. I did this after the Chainsmokers concert, I think, when you guys were all like partying. Yeah. So, I came back pretty early, right? That's when I did it. All right. Let me scroll all the way down to the bottom, answer a couple more. What else do we got? Just here to enjoy how you answered my questions. Soon will be inside your Skool community. Thank you very much, Gabia. Your dad who left, what MacBook do you use? I don't know. Let's find out about this Mac. An Apple M2 Max 32 gigabyte Sequoia 15.4.1. Is GHL necessary for starting an agency? Asks KazooCat 7964. Some YouTubers preach it, but I'm conflicted. No, definitely not. I don't really think anything is necessary, aside from a penchant for money. GHL is just a tool, right? It's a tool that gets you 80% of the way to like a pretty good CRM. Out of the box, I'd consider it better than most other CRMs because it comes relatively, for the most part, pre-configured. But if you sprinkle on a little bit of process knowledge to any other CRM, like ClickUp or Monday or Asana or Trello, I find you can usually just get better than GHL because it's pre-configured, but that pre-configure is also sort of locking you into a particular way of doing things. So don't feel like it's necessary, my brother, my little kazoo cat. You have a very interesting hairdo. Do you have an alternative for PandaDoc, says Patrick92? It's pretty expensive at the beginning with like 600 euros for the yearly pay to use the Make connection. Really? Do you still create the contract with the intake form while you were in the discovery call and send it automatically to the company, or how's your process now? Great question, but let's go PandaDoc pricing first. Did they change it? Where is PandaDoc price? Whoa, why can I not just forget the pricing? Okay, I can't get the pricing. I lied. Did they change it? Did they change it? I don't think they changed it. I don't think they changed it. Yeah, I don't think they changed it. You've never had API access on the starter plan, but you didn't need the API access in the starter plan to make it work. The fact that you don't have these, I don't think matters. Also, bro, never go annually on anything. Like the space changes way too fast. You shouldn't be going annually for anything at all. You'll find that like you'll use a software platform like PandaDoc for 8 months or something, and then it'll change and you'll have to get a new software platform because the space changes so quickly. And then what's the discount here really? 46%. So annually, 12 times 19, 228. Oops. Then monthly is 35 times, I don't know, 7 or 8, 280. There's barely a gap. And the monthly will just give you so much more freedom. Do I send it automatically to the company? How's your process now? Yeah, I don't really send it automatically to the companies anymore, to be honest. I think that's just because the nature of my deal sizes have changed. I was thinking about this, but what I usually do now is I actually record a video of me going through the proposal live, like with the proposal. I'll be like, hey, how's it going? Just wanted to record a quick video to walk you through exactly what this proposal looks like. Maybe run through some common Q&A. If you have any questions, I want you to know that you can leave them on the right-hand side of this document. PandaDoc includes a built-in edit feature. So let me know anytime and I'll sort it out for you within a few hours. Here's what it looks like. bang, 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 bang. Takes me, I don't know, 5 minutes to go through. And most people watch that video as opposed to go through the proposal themselves, which allows me to deliver the pricing cost, like the investment part, instead of them just like scrolling through it immediately. I find that this does help. Like I had lower proposal conversion rates before I did this. So is it fully automated? No. But to be honest, that's about as close as you get to real money. So I think it makes sense. Templating out the proposal still solves a big chunk of my problems though. Like it just makes my life a lot easier. So highly recommend still doing that. Hey Nick, I've been on a few calls and those people want to fill in a hole by someone. Example, a client told me that they don't have someone specially who doing outreach. They'd like to have that. And I pitched email outreach solution, but what they want is someone to do it for them. What I'm trying to ask is how do you be that someone, or how do you position yourself? Do I keep systems in my end and handle that fully for them like an outreach guy? Or if it's content automation, maybe a content guy for them? Sometimes the upkeep scares them. How do I make more easy for them and make the solution outreach system more frictionless? Less friction? More frictionless. Great question. I like this because you're asking how do you make the client life easier? And that's really the most important thing. You'll find that the bigger and better these clients get, the less work that they want involved on their end. And the more they want somebody that's just an all-in-one, done-for-you service where they pay a certain amount of money and then they get the thing in response. I'm like this as well at this point. I don't really want to be a partner with you. I don't really want to talk to you about the best way of doing things. I want to hire somebody that's good at what they do and just trust that they're going to do a really good job with it. So this is called taking ownership, and this is called minimizing friction, minimizing client complexity. And yeah, just like building a product, because clients don't care about the inner workings of the black box that is your product. They only care about the input, the output, and basically the interface. So what do I think about this? I think that's great. That's exactly what you should be doing. And that's exactly what you should have been doing this whole time, to be honest. How do you be that someone? You just position yourself as somebody that is capable of dealing with everything. You are the person that does cold email. Hey, I will handle your cold email systems from start to finish completely autonomously. All I need from you is a brief 3-minute form that you're going to fill out right now, and I'll do everything for you for 90 days straight. And if I don't get you X, Y, and Z result that I'm guaranteeing you, you don't pay a cent. Make it a complete and utter no-brainer for them and just, get them to give you whatever you need up front in like a couple of minutes, and then you're off to the races. Handle it completely autonomously. Give them some progress updates, obviously. Don't just like actually disappear. Give them some sort of progress update, but don't actually like ask or demand anything from them. That's how you do it. Okay, dboy7996 says, this is exactly what I needed. Thank you very much. And then I have a bunch of very deep questions from Ben about the meaning of life. Does God exist? What happens after death? How big is the universe? I would agree with you, man, but I might not be the best equipped to answer all of this. B2B SaaS, huh? Not even once. Okay, so let's do some brand stats. Cover my Instagram here first, which is 139, 257. I think we're May the 10th now. So we're here, 8,887 in the last, wow, that's a ton of growth actually. Way more growth than we were getting before. My main channel was, oh boy, that's annoying. I got to switch my account again. So 5048 there. Main channel is 101,552. So we've grown 1.5%. So the percentile growth has obviously decreased. We had a big bump over here, and then I have a couple days missing, which is unfortunate, and I'll see if I could find a way to backfill that. And then the Instagram grew pretty explosively, it looks like, but then I won't be sad about it. I mean, it's not like I should have expected there to be a massive explosion when I hit 100K, but I definitely like those numbers to be higher. The thing is, it's been difficult for me to make high quality content, to be honest. And I do think that there's some problems here in the framing and the branding. Like, I think we can make the thumbnails better. There's some minor discrepancies here. I think the E is a different size, for instance. I think that we're using different fonts for this. Some weird padding and stuff like that. All of these, I think, just decrease, the fact that the K is not capitalized, but the month is capitalized. But then if you look at the title, the M is not capitalized. These inconsistencies here, I think I need to fix. These are really small. They're probably not the reason why I'm not growing as quickly as I like. But yeah, I don't think these thumbnails are very good. I think we should probably fix them. And it in full course hit 100K. That's awesome. Watch Me Start and Sell is going to hit 100K pretty soon, right? 99,000. Yeah. That's pretty chunky. What else? Best online business for beginners going to hit 60K. That's cool. So yeah, growth wise, we're doing pretty well. Let me see what the ad revenue spike was. I think I made like $700 in a day recently. Oh, this is nutty. Hey, check this out. $750 in a day in advertising. Good God. I never thought it would get that nuts, but like, wow. For curiosity, what is that in Canadian dollars? Wow. So I'm renting this place starting a couple days from now. Well, starting a couple weeks from now. That's about $4,000 a month. So 4 days of my ads pay off my place. Insanity. It's a really nice place too. It has 2 built-in car washes a month, which is just crazy too. Check out the sub spike. Oof, 3,000 here. And now we're like consistently doing plus 1K days. Oh my God, those plus 1K days are juicy. Just a couple weeks ago, I was back at like the 600 a day mark, and now it's just consistent. Total viewership did go down, which is unfortunate. And we do have a video that I'm publishing today that is a system build, so that's probably not going to do as well. Got a couple of big subs coming in. Life of Bo, Dodo, Cinema Shorts. Hello and welcome. Anywho, yeah, so I guess that's just me doing a little recap of where I'm at. Had a blast doing like a case study interview with Amir. If you guys haven't checked that out, please do. He's brilliant. And he's made CRM automations very sexy, like CRM one-shot CRM builds and stuff like that. Really cool, which is fun. Let me just make the camera in my face. Let me just see if I have anything here that I could do with you guys live. I had to stop showing you guys stuff live because I had a few people take my things and then actually try and do them and then like send me an email being like, hey, I did the thing that you asked for, and sent an email to that person. And I'm like, Jesus, man. Also, I have looks like a password here. Oh, you know, one really cool thing that I'm doing, actually, one thing that, here's one thing I can talk about. The guys that I'm working, the guys that I was at the Airbnb with here in San Francisco, they got me on this voice dictation stuff, which was crazy because I'd never used any sort of voice dictation before. So that's neat. So check this out. I type really fast, right? My average typing speed is like 150 words a minute or something already. Like, maybe that's not the best thing. Okay, so how fast did I type that? I don't know, but you could do the math. That's uno, dos. That's 14 words, and I probably typed it in like a few seconds. The thing is, for most human beings on planet Earth, typing is a bottleneck. You might think at like 200 words per minute approximately. Your fingers can only type at like 50 words per minute. That means that you're slowing down your rate of bandwidth, input-output with the computer by about 4x relative to your thoughts. Check this out. Well, get this app like Whisperflow, and I hope this doesn't ruin my mic. I really hope it doesn't ruin my mic. This app here is pretty neat. You see how down at the bottom I now have this little dictation button? So, shit, man, what was the button? Was this the button right here? Okay, cool. Notice how I'm now speaking directly into the thing. It uses artificial intelligence to automatically readjust and rewrite things in better tones of voice. And while it's not perfect, I would consider it pretty good. So now it's actually going through and dictating it. This is taking a lot longer than usual, but I think it's because I'm on shitty internet. And check that out. I just wrote like 31 words and I did it in probably about the same speed. So it's never really made a lot of sense for me to use these sorts of tools because I'm capable of writing pretty quick. But I'll be honest, there's some instances in which I don't really want to type, but I still have to. So this is a really quick and easy way to accomplish the 80-20, get most of the words out on the page without necessarily, without having to, do the typing and whatnot. It does change your tone of voice. I trialed it today on a bunch of Skool comments because I had like 300 posts that I had to get through. And eventually I was like, my fingers hurt. I'm going to start speaking. And I found that my tone of voice is different. It also doesn't really get my, sometimes I like writing in like all lowercase just because I'm crazy with it. And I don't know, maybe it's just a style thing, or I like pretending I'm Sam Altman or something. But you can't really do that. It kind of like actually makes sure your grammar's good and stuff. So keep that in mind. But I think that these tools are only going to get better over the course of the next year or so. And I think that there are going to be solutions to that style stuff pretty soon. Like there's probably going to be a tone of voice thing where you'll be able to like weave Whisperflow into a tone of voice post injection prompt thing. That'll just like adjust it so that it's in your preferred style. And I know there are a few tools out there that I think already do this. I haven't actually done the research myself. So if you guys are already using this stuff, let me know. But anyway, just to make a long story short, I like this stuff because what we're doing is we're significantly increasing our bandwidth and our ability to provide input to the computer, which logically just makes us move a lot faster. Obviously, there's something to be said about being intentional and working through what you are doing on the computer in your head before you go and do it. But there are also a lot of instances where you just need to get a bunch of shit out onto a page ASAP. And what you can do is you could just like whisper flow or dict directly into like a ChatGPT page and just get all that context out and then ask it something. And then that way you still get yourself in the ChatGPT prompt or in the AI prompt, and you're able to do a much higher bandwidth. It's a really good example of a place that makes sense. So maybe this is going to help you. Maybe it won't. I don't know. It helps most of the guys that I'm working with, and all those guys make boatloads of money too. So give it a try. Thank you very much for watching. If you guys like this sort of stuff, check out Maker Skool because I'm increasing the prices very shortly. We're just about to hit #1 on Skool. So be part of the greatest and biggest, not only AI automation community, but pretty soon community in general. Join sooner rather than later. Thanks so much, guys. Looking forward to seeing y'all tomorrow.